Drew, you mentioned defense first on Saturday, but I think you also mentioned a certain name of a forward who, shall we say, had a few tallies this weekend. How about, is it HOBEY Bakerud? Sorry, no, Jimmy Snuggerud. That's what you're talking about.
Oh, Jimmy.
Yeah,
Yeah, that guy. He's all right. He's all
yeah,
right.
Jimmy Johns. No, Jimmy Scholes, something like that. How good was he this weekend, though? I mean, because there was conversation of when Logan Cooley signed with Arizona, who was going to be the guy that stepped up and was that guy, right? And I think we have our answer early. Granted, yes, it's still early, but
Mm-hmm.
I think we have our answer.
Yeah, as the resident Gen Z slash Cusper representative on the podcast, I feel like I got a student
I can
section
cut him
was
out, right,
going.
Nate? Okay. Trying to say that he's, geez, unreal.
I'm just saying because the student section and a lot of like the TikTok generation, Jimmy Snuggerud. That was the play all weekend. Jimmy Snuggerud. That was it. And is Jimmy Snuggerud him? Let's pose that question. He might be. And I think this weekend obviously gave a lot of credence to that thought because he was absolutely incredible when it mattered most, especially in overtime where he made some defenders look a little silly where they were like, oh, is he going to pass it? Is he going to take it in? And then someone took a bad angle and then he was in and then they're like, whoops, nothing we can do anymore. And then he rips it past and they win the game. And he had a couple of shots in Saturday's game that were just absolutely incredible. And just it's an NHL shot. He's going to be really good at the next level. But thankfully, right now the Gophers have him to be the guy. And I think he's obviously, like we've said numerous times, he's a different guy than either Cooley and Nyes. That's why I think that line works so well, is because they all played such very unique styles of the game. But Jimmy's going to have to be the number one this year. And I think there were a couple guys. I mean, I think Brody Lamb on his line too was really, really, really good. But Jim, he's setting himself up for a lot of expectations. One, like you mentioned, Bakerud, but if he's the guy, and that he plays like that, this team is going to go really far.
Hey, do you agree with that? I mean, 4 goals on a weekend, regardless of your opponent, is not an easy thought. And it's not just that you get 4, it's in the moments, right? Sometimes it's a response goal. It's the timely goals, right? And, it's when you need your players to step up and be that guy. I felt like he embodied that role this weekend. Curious to know if you saw the same.
Yeah, I was just thinking that his goals were the goals that Minnesota needed when they got him. I was thinking this weekend while watching him, Cole Caulfield, when he came back for Wisconsin for his second season, the Badgers had lost a couple. They lost Alex Turcotte. They had lost Kander Miller, but they had Cole Caulfield back. And the question was, who's going to step up and ever go on there? And if you remember Cole Caulfield's freshman season, it was good. It wasn't great. It was, but you knew that you could do something great. You knew he could score. You knew he had the shot. And I feel the same thing here with Jimmy Snuggerud. I'm not saying that he's going to win the HOBEY. I'm not going to say that he's going to be putting up goals. Yeah, look, we're not even looking at the pairwise right now. Even saying anything about the HOBEY after 2 weekends of college hockey really won is kind of just a crazy thing to say. But I mean, it's one of the goals on Saturday. I was looking at this. I'm like, this is an NHL shot goal. He has about the space for about a puck and a half to get through. The accuracy to get that going in is just unreal. And if that's what you're going to do and to start with the year, then I'm really curious to see how it keeps going. I think that he has the ability to be the one. Towards the end of last year, you saw he got better throughout the year. Would you say that he dominated the level the way that Matty Nyes or Cooley did? No, I wouldn't say that. He was very talented, but there's certainly room to grow. And you have an entire offseason to go in the weight room. You're working with the teammates. You're going to get the opportunity to be a leader on this team. And I'm curious to see how this goes. I think that he has the opportunity to be the guy. And if he's stepping up through this 1 weekend, that it might be the case that he is the guy. So the Gophers are going to need that. The Gophers need to be a team that has several players step up. And they're an older team, it's great, but also they're going to need to have someone be the guy. And yeah, I think if you're going to look at who it could be and who it should be, it is Jimmy Snuggerud.
I don't think anybody's going to argue with that. I think sometimes, as a player, you almost mentally take a backseat to guys like Matty Nyes and Logan Cooley, even though maybe you have what it takes, and then the door opens up maybe unexpectedly, and then it's like, okay, now it's my time to to put my foot through the door and to kind of just take the reins, right? And I think Snuggerud did that.